Good morning, welcome to Catex TV. My name is Frank Fortunato. Today is Wednesday, July 15th, 2015. If you want to follow us on Twitter, go to Catex TV. In Athens today, it's a very difficult scene for Greek Prime Minister Alexis Tsipras. He's trying to push across the goal line the bailout package that he was forced to accept, as he put it, with a knife at his throat back in Brussels earlier this week. Adding to the confusion involved is a public call by the International Monetary Fund saying that it would not back a new bailout for Greece unless the bailout substantially reduces the debt burden on Athens. Now, this points to an interesting rift that has been developing over the past 10 days amongst the European community. Some people, including the IMF and France, believe that Greece cannot go forward under the crushing debt burden that has been extended to it, and are asking for a write-off of at least part of the debts. The debt burden now is well north of some 300 billion euros. In other instances around the world, specifically thinking of Latin America and other places, debts have been forgiven and lowered down, written off, if you will, to a more sustainable level. The difficulty in the European community is that the Germans and the Finns are adamantly opposed to any debt forgiveness and are insisting that Greece repay every last euro that's been owed it. The IMF's public position, however, has made things more difficult for Mr. Tsipras because opponents in the Greek parliament to the knife at the throat deal he was forced to accept are now saying, wait a minute, look at what the IMF has said, perhaps we can get a better deal. By midnight tonight, Mr. Tsipras has to have the bailout package passed, or it's back to square one. U.S. insurance losses stemming from natural catastrophes hit $8 billion for the first half of 2015. According to Munich Re, there were direct overall losses of $4.3 billion in the U.S. from the harsh winter last year, of which $3.2 billion were insured. Tony Kaczynski, the president and CEO of Munich Re America, said the costliest global natural disaster for the insurance industry in the first half of the year was a series of exceptionally cold and snowy storms that struck the northeastern U.S. and Canada at the end of February. He said Boston alone received almost 10 feet of snow, an absolute record. Yes, we remember that. Reinsurance giant Munich Re has also decided, apparently, to cease its operations in Russia amidst a poor economy with no prospects to improve performance. According to reports, Munich Re will continue to serve its Russian business directly from Germany. We've not been able to see much else on this story other than what I just told you. There was an explosion at an aerospace plant in northeastern Washington state last night out by the Idaho border. 5 people were airlifted to a Spokane hospital. The blast occurred at Zodiac Aerospace in Newport, Washington. According to local authorities, Zodiac Aerospace reportedly makes aircraft interiors. A call to the factory last evening went unanswered. The cause of the explosion is not immediately known. In 2013, there was dramatic footage of a Boeing 747-400 operated by National Air Cargo Group taking off from Bagram Air Force Base in Afghanistan and then crashing. All 8 people aboard, all from Michigan, were killed. Now the National Transportation Safety Board says that an improperly secured vehicle in the cargo rendered the huge plane uncontrollable. The National Safety Board said an improperly secured, mine-resistant, ambush-protected vehicle known as an MRAP went through the bulkhead and disabled 2 hydraulic systems, making the plane uncontrollable. The plane had just taken off from Bagram, was operated by a National Air Cargo Group Incorporated subsidiary. It carried 207 tons of cargo, and it had just picked up 53 tons of fuel at Bagram. So it was a very heavy plane. In the middle of takeoff, it began its turn after leaving the runway, and this very heavy vehicle apparently became unsecured and crashed through the bulkhead, severing hydraulic systems. The plane never had a chance. Reports from London are saying that the Financial Conduct Authority staff has spent over £1.7 million last year on staff expenses, which included entertaining, car hire, domestic and foreign travel, and taxis. This happens just as the regulator is set to raise its fees for brokers by 8.5% next year. The figures obtained under the Freedom of Information request said that about £80,000 went to staff entertaining. It also said that some £21,000 were claimed for mileage done in private cars, £43,000 were spent on taxis, and £44,000 were spent on domestic travel, including subways, buses, and trains. Also noted that despite the FCA's reported loss of £58 million for the financial year 2014-2015, that loss was in line with expectations, and its chief executive, Martin Wheatley, is due to receive a 15% pay rise for 2015, taking his salary up to £701,000. I am not commenting. Neither did the FCA when people asked them for their comments. That's the news for today. If we have any breaking news, we'll come back and tell you. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you tomorrow.